Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. I hope that things are well in your world. We've got our first recorded Dominaria United draft ready to go here. I have not gotten to play much of the format yet. I did one draft during the preview event, but I was really tired, and I did one sealed pool. So you're going to see me reading through some of the cards. It's a little bit different experience than my first draft in the past. But you know what? I had a good time. I will certainly be drafting a couple more times, and we'll see what we think of the format. If it's great, you'll see a lot more. I hope that you enjoy the draft video. If you do, leave a comment and tell me you love it. And thank you so much for watching. Enjoy. All right, what have we got for our rare? Reach. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it, get a 1/1, sacrifice a Sapperling, and pump it, sacrifice 2 and draw a card. That seems like a very good rare. The Phoenix Chick I don't love. This is get a land, make a token, get a pump spell, draw a card. It's assassinate, sort of. Vigilance and Enlist is really interesting combo. That's a decent 2-drop. This thing was okay. Soul Tender I've liked. This I liked. Return your card from your graveyard to your hand. You gain 2 life. It was kicked. Returned another permanent. Okay, so we're looking to wheel this if we get into green-black. Because getting 2 cards is great. Getting 1 is kind of garbage. Okay. Yeah, Reach seems pretty good. All right, let's go through here and see what we've got. That's Explore, sort of. Menace your opponent can't gain life, and I can pump it. Oh, I like that. That's a solid blocker, attacker, and it pumps. We're probably taking that. Ooh, Aaron's pretty good. Is this like Crofax's kid or something? Tokens. It's kicked, it enters with counter, target land. Oh wow, it's a sea snid. It's funny. Amplifier, kicked. Okay, it's a bouncer for 5 mana. Okay. That seems pretty good too. I imagine there's a good bit of people forcing green, but I'm going to take the single colored card here. I may regret it. This thing seems pretty damn good, frankly. But let's see where this takes me. All right. Other goblins get +1/+1. When a goblin dies, exile the top card. If it's a goblin, you can cast it. That's a 2-mana 1/1, yo. Enlist, when it dies, damage equal to its power to any target. That's, oh, I thought it was 2 mana. It's not great. This thing seems good. Semite Herbalist is okay. Take Up Shield is okay. This cycles, I guess. Well, sort of cycles. It just doesn't really do anything. Could try to get a 2-for-1 out of this. It's just, ugh. I'm tempted to take the Root Walla and just see if we can get into green things. I think I'm going to do that. None of those cards really tried to pull me out of it. I watched John play with this. It wants lands in your graveyard, right? It's also pretty fun to say, Urg, Spawn of Turg. Like, I'm having a good time with that. This is a Manalith? Yeah, that's a Manalith. Oh, wow. That's an old card reprinted, isn't it? I remember killing creatures with this like in Tempest or something. I feel like I'm getting signals that we can be in green-black, which is cool because we opened a green-black rare. So let's see where this takes me. Two roots. I don't know what that means. Oh, 2 Root Wallas. They're not bad. I don't think this thing's amazing. It's just a 2-drop. I'm going to need some interaction, and I don't have any currently, so that has me a little concerned. I guess I'll take the Splatter Goblin. This feels like a spot where if I'm going to get off of this, I need to get off of it. But I don't see anything that's really making me want to, like, change directions. Next pack needs to be good for this color pair. We've got to do some real shifting. Use the battlefield, it was kicked. Return target creature card with mana value 3 or less to the battlefield. It gains haste and sacrifice it. That's a decent card if you can do the kicker sometimes. 2/2, ETB, choose a card type, cost less, exile it. You can just blink it. Okay. Like, I like the Soul Tender, and it's a great way to get things in the graveyard. This thing seems really good to me. So I'm wondering if I'm supposed to, like, try to move into that. I don't know. I think I'm just kind of forcing green-black now because that's what I opened. Catch your next target creature gains double strike. That's an interesting playable copy spell. I like that. Guess I'll take the Meteorite and see where we go with that. What do? Other elves get +1/+1. When you cast an elf spell, you can pay green and draw a card. I mean, don't imagine I can get enough elves to be thrilled about playing a 2-mana, a hard-to-cast 2-mana 1/1. Whereas this thing is okay, and the Marsh could be okay. Let's take the Marsh. Is Flowstone Infusion new? Okay, we did wheel what I wanted. I think green-black is open. There's just people taking black cards and green cards. Ah, Flowstone Blade. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. You had to dump mana in it after it resolved. I remember it now. So it wasn't quite that good. Three-2 with Enlist versus a 2/5 with Enlist. I'll take the 3/2, I guess. Weird stats for a turtle. That thing's better than this, but not for me. Okay, if I have to use this for interaction, I can. I'd like just like a removal spell or two. I'm pretty sure there's like a Rabid Bite variant in this set and a 4-mana Terminate. Pilfer. It's not bad. This goes and gets me a land, which is not bad. This is a duel for my color pair. Ooh, Phyrexian Rager. Ooh. Remember Phyrexian Rager? I remember Phyrexian Rager. What a good little dude. I guess I take this because this and the Meteorite are kind of like my path to splash something if I want to. These are not basic, but that's okay. Yeah, I think this is where I'm at. Well, we can certainly build around this guy. Now that we have two, I'll probably wheel that as well. Okay, if I can get a couple removal spells, we got something going on here. What do? Search your library for basic land, make a token. Make 2 tokens. That's interesting. It actually does something later. Cast instant or sorcery without paying its mana cost. It's pretty bad. Huh. I don't hate the Scryer when we've got sacrifice shenanigans happening. And it shores up all the 2-drops. I just have 0 interaction. But I don't think we've seen any other than like a lightning strike in the last pack. Create a Thopter, tap untapped artifacts, damage to target creature. 1 target artifact is a 4/4. Okay. Why didn't it make a Yoshin Soldier? Yeah, we're really just not getting interaction. I guess people are drafting it incredibly highly. I don't think I can make that work. I guess I may need this combat trick. I'm not real thrilled about taking that there. The Badger I like. Like that gives us a late game plan to try to kill people. How is this not just heroic reinforcements? I guess you can blink the token. I mean, it kind of is. I'm just hoping we could get an actual removal spell in our colors, but it looks like that may not be what I'm doing. This is an instant draw 2 cards, lose 2 life in our deck. I've kind of already got that with this. I might could make that work. But I think I'm just going to take this and hopefully see a pacifism or something. Okay, this wield, which is kind of what we were thinking about, which I dig. So we've got our card advantage, we've got a win condition. It's just interaction. So in this last pack, I kind of have to take any interaction we see. Well, I'm doing a best of 3 draft. So we probably have better drafters here and they're not looking to force anything. I could sort of see playing Pilfer. This would be 1 mana +2/+2 generally. That's a decent trick. Can probably play that. Like if I have to run Colossal Growth and Gaia's Might and just accept that we don't have removal, that's what I got to do. I can see if I can pull off a best of 3 draft. I'd prefer to do those, but I may not be able to. We'll see. I don't think I need that many. Don't need that. Guess we'll take this. Should probably stack these lands over here so remember I have them. I do like this thing quite a bit. I just don't know how I'm killing any of my opponent's creatures. But we're set up to splash white or red interaction very happily. Does blue have an actual removal spell, or is it just that tap something for 4 turns card, which is good? I don't know how aggressive we're going to be, so I don't know if I want that or not yet. I mean, that's an awful lot like just kill the thing. All right, so this is pretty good, but I don't know if I can pull it off. I really need to just be looking straight for interaction in each of these. So Artillery Blast on the splash would be 3 damage, presumably. No, 4. Okay, that's close enough to a removal spell that I may need to just grab it. Does this do anything amazing? No, it doesn't. Uncommon though, okay. Yeah, I think we're on Artillery Blast if I want to interact at all. I like this thing. I think we would potentially play it here because I'm running a lot of creatures, but like what we most need is interaction. We've got a white splash pretty easily put together here, and here's a Prayer of Binding. So I can play this and the Artillery Blast and be pretty damn happy. This also relevantly gives me a Saproling, which I can then sacrifice here and start to do things, so... Yeah, I think this would be good in Limited, whereas a Termagoyf wouldn't be, generally speaking. But getting 2 of these is absurd. Happy about that. Ride Ahead. Choose a chapter and start with that many lore counters. Add 1 after you draw a step. Return 2 non-saga permanents from your hand. Put 2 non-saga permanents from your hand onto the battlefield. Look at the top 7 cards. You may reveal a permanent and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom. So 7 mana, draw 2. Okay, yeah, I see why that's still there. That's not very good. This thing seems quite useful. So does the choking miasma. I'm going to take the miasma and see. Because again, interaction, but... That's pretty bad. Run a blight pile and not be terribly embarrassed. I'd also just take this Radiant Grove and have really good mana. I don't think I can splash this. What if I could? The double splash is just so hard to pull off. Because I've got... I'll see if the mana comes together. If I get two more duels, I might can make that work. There's another Urg, which I can take. What does this do? Scry 4. If a Planeswalker... Oh, okay, that doesn't do anything. Sacrifice tablet, reveal the top 5 cards of your library, put a land into your hand and the rest on the bottom. If you don't put a card in your hand... So it cycles. Okay. That's interesting. I'm going to take another Urg. Let's try to do what our color pair wants to do. This guy's okay. Not great. Take another Root Walla. I'm pretty happy with 2-drops that pump. Like, this gives us plenty of 2-drops. Does this do anything amazing? Have 2 non-token artifacts, exile the top card. No, that doesn't do anything amazing. There's a lot of like range between good cards and kind of don't do anything cards. It's a lot better than Shimmering Grotto. We're probably playing at least Gaia's Might currently. I think I can play this pretty happily. I could also splash the Destroy Evil. I think I like that a little better. I've got enough creatures and my mana's pretty damn good. Broken Wings for the size board is nice. Yeah, because I can get this... Yeah, we've got creatures if I need them. I don't really have big creatures, but I have creatures. It's an okay combat trick too. I wonder if we play the Vanquisher's Axe. I don't think so. I think we're going to run Bone Splinters, Gaia's Might, and whatever the creatures we can make work. Yeah, I've heard it's actually pretty good. Good morning, Dick. I was not very optimistic about the Rings of Power, but people have told me it's good. So Bone Splinter seems to make some sense. Gaia's Might makes some sense. And then I could maybe just jam the Librarian. It gives me 13 creatures. I'd really like one more creature in the list. If we're playing these repossessions. I don't think I can realistically get Aaron in, right? Because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white sources. I could maybe get it to 6. You could play this in the deck with 6 sources, right? Because there's 2, 3, 4, and I could jam 2 planes. How bad does that mess up my mana if I do that? So I'd probably want 8 of each of the others. Get 5, 6, 7, 8. This actually works. Did we figure it out? It's a little greedy. But maybe it's just greedy enough to work. It's really leaning on this treaty, but I can lean on the treaty. All right, let's see if we got something. I mean, it feels like they were certainly trying to harken back to Invasion, for example. There's a corrupted Ajani avatar. I'm gonna need to get that. Sadly, we must mulligan this one. I can work with this. We'll send a swamp back. I eventually decided to play the Bone Splinters because we have so many little saprolings running around. Oh, I get to pick where it starts. Okay, well, I want the whole thing. It's a weird mechanic. Saprolings look sufficiently gross. I like that. Killing my saproling. Okay. It's a dead saproling. No creatures in my graveyard. That makes me sad. I guess we're going to try to kill him with a grizzly bear. There is nothing to do in this deck with this much land. A looter or something like that would have gone a long way. What do you do? Makes birds? Okay, cool. I kind of want to do this and get a saproling going, but I guess I can attack with this first. On. I should be okay just holding here for a minute. And we've got Destroy Evil ready to go if we need it. I don't want them to like make infinite tokens. Like they've clearly tried to build a defender deck. Yeah, and with the repossession, I should probably kill this. Get my saproling. Because I get a scry and I turn on the repossession. I suspect it's the setting. I really enjoyed, like, I like different sets than most people. I really enjoyed Baldur's Gate. I thought it was a great deal of fun. Now we can do something with this. Hiya! I really didn't like the other sets. Kamigawa I didn't care for. Like, at all. Didn't like Capenna. All right, so we don't know a whole lot about what they're up to, just that there are some artifact slash potential flyer things in that color combo, so bringing in Broken Wings is pretty reasonable if there's something we think is not great. Not a lot of people liked it. I came back and tried to play some Magic and just really didn't like it at all. I think I'm going to cut the miasma. It didn't look like it was going to be wonderful there. Oh, I loved Adventures in Forgotten Realms. That was a lot of fun too, I thought. God, it still feels weird that my curve tops out at 4 and I'm playing a Meteorite. I guess I've got some mana sinks. But this looks like a bad deck. Kinda is, but... I'm the one that drafted it. I was unaware there was a Phyrexian Ajani avatar. We're gonna need to sort that out very quickly. I'm gonna say that's a priority. Okay, we don't have to mulligan, that's nice. Has it? I don't even have to buy it? It's insane. I still don't think she was as big a bomb as people made her out to be, but that's an argument for another day. Yeah, I saw the stickers. I kind of don't get what meme that's supposed to be from. But I guess I don't have to. So I can attack with this as a 5/2. Let's do that. This one, error invalid origin permitter. That's a really bad meme. Woman yelling at cat meme. Oh, okay. I'm not really familiar with that one, I guess. No, not you. You. We're gonna enlist. Submit one and go. Take 5? I approve of this message. I wanted to play the Splatter Goblin too, but I can't. Makes me sad. Hello, Surgeon. Go get him, buddy. Whiteo. Not too shabby. I'm familiar with the meme of like somebody yelling at somebody's face, but they're obviously bored and not interested. That's a funny one. But I'm too old to keep up with the memes anymore. Yeah, see, those are hip and recent. I like those. I guess I'm too good at keeping up with the memes. Is actually what's going on. Fatherhood is -12 to meme. Perhaps it is, Jake. I've barely played any of it, Zurgeon. I don't really have an opinion yet. I think I'd like this drawbridge to be dead. So I don't really have an opinion. Kind of still trying to figure out if I like it or not. I guess we would sack lands just to give him some power at this point. Erg. I think this is my second draft. I did one during the preview event, but I was so tired I didn't really know what was happening. And then I did a sealed, and I hope it was a rotten pool, but I was also just like kind of in a mood yesterday. Well, I don't have time to dig into sealed like I used to, nor the incentive. I'm trying to decide. I don't even know if that's bad, Zurgeon. I have no idea what Karn does, what planeswalkers are in the set. Like, it's a different stream than it used to be. And you know what? That's okay. I like this stream. All right, let's see if they're bad. Okay. That's not them being bad, but that's pretty acceptable to me. This does put 2 lands that we scryed to the bottom back in there, which I don't dig, but I think I like it. I was going to say, what are the chances we need to Bone Splitter next turn? And I think pretty high, actually. Let me read this and make sure there's not something terrible on it. Okay, yeah, I probably need to kill that. Let's make it go bye-bye. Bye-bye. Urgh, spawn of Turg. Urgh, 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 urgh. No, I think I shall keep that. Hiya! Some baby is waking up from a nap and is incredibly cute. Eastern wife says, isn't she always? And she is also correct. That baby is always amazing. All right, we got us a win. So I think what we should do is never draft again and just call it 100% win rate in official drafts and kind of be happy with that. But I also think I'm going to take a short break. I forgot to go get the Ajani avatar. I was going to. It can still be a panda stream. Dang it, Bobby. Not a huge fan of this. It's not quite good enough to keep, and it's not quite bad enough to mulligan. It's not bad. At least we get the 3/3 menace. I hope you have a good time with the cardboard you pick up. I hope you're not driving. I have listened to streams while I drove before, but I did not participate in chat. It's been a minute since I did that, though. That thing's pretty bigly. Better kill it. On train. Okay, good, good, good. I appreciate areas in the US that have decent public transportation. Because not many places do. I'm fortunate to live in an area that has some question mark. They really can't afford to block me here unless they've got a combat trick. Interesting to not take the block first, but you do what you got to do. Now, fair enough. I don't often drive, but I can. Just wasn't much reason to as a full-time streamer and then as a full-time dad. I want to hang out with John one day. Like, this is actually a strong desire of mine. But I also want COVID to go away. That's the thing, right? Like, if there was no COVID and you were driving down to New Jersey, I'd be like, well, let's meet somewhere and have lunch. Got 2 things in the graveyard, right? Yeah, we can get them both. Okay. You reckon they got another one of those? Well, people are acting like it isn't a big deal, Boris, but they're just getting COVID. And I have a 4-month-old, so I'm incredibly vigilant about it. But it just, everybody has it and they're getting it and they're like, it's not that big a deal, but it's still a big deal. The mana leak is also international from me, so like that's a little different, but not a lot of different. I don't know what she does. Make a creature, play a card. Jaya hits something. Okay. So I guess their plan is to trade these. That's not great for me. Yeah, that's my thing, right? It's like I'm being very careful, and that's my biggest concern is like eventually I know she'll probably get it, but it's like the more times you get it, the more risk it is, and no one seems to care. They're probably going to block here. It's unfortunate that I ended up sacking that land because we kind of need it. Like hitting a land there or just having one now would have been huge. Well, yeah, see, that's the thing. It's still a big deal. They just don't care. All right, I think I'm supposed to play this and then just take this and not kick it. Because the menace when they're at 3 is pretty relevant. Yeah, people have decided they don't care, but that didn't make it go away. They're just getting sick. And like John said, it's mostly like everybody just started smoking.
Wisdom kindles the heart.
I quit smoking. It was really hard. I want the health benefits of that. We were doing pretty good until they hit the Planeswalker. Actually, this might encourage them to take the damage, which I'd love. Because then I just hit a land and kill them with the meteorite. It can go face. And if they don't, I get another token. That's fine too. Yeah, that's my concern for it, right? Is like the generation that's going to find out the true cost of long-term COVID is my daughter's generation. And I don't want her to have to experience that. Like, I was already cautious when it was like me and my wife are going to be affected, but boy, let me tell you what, things change a bit when you add a baby into the mix. Badger, 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 badger. Now we just need to land. Bonjour. I was thinking the other day about playing that card game at your house like 8 years ago, Marty. Battle Line or whatever. It's a really good primer for getting the brain turned on. It was a lot of fun. Just kind of need the game to keep going until we can cast this meteorite and we should be fine. I'd never played it before and we were getting ready for a GP, but we'd like practiced our minds out. And Marty was like, I got a fun game that'll let you engage your brain. I would recommend for people that like that sort of thing. It was a good game. I don't know why it stuck with me for years. We played one game and I still remember it fondly. Really like this Goblin Picker. They've got kind of infinite furious bellows.
You're no match for my students.
Badger, 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 meteorite. Boop. Sometimes a meteor landing on your opponent is an actual plan. All right, so infinite furious bellow. Infinite colossal growth. This is Combat Trick the game. How do we beat the combat tricks? They're also like medium cards plus Planeswalker, which is something. Broken Wings not have much of a target. Wisconsin Wizard, how you doing, my friend?
Some leg.
Y'all spam some legs for the wizard. Thank you, my friend. I don't think I want to make any changes here, which is a bit unusual for me. How was Miasma? Miasma's too good to cut. They've got some serious X2s, and she pumps out 1/1s. Yes, Badger Mushroom. We got the whole thing. Now we just need a snake. Yeah, I don't think I want to make any changes here. That feels really weird, but I don't. Just kind of ugly, but we'll try it. I'm being a little more picky about the stickers and cosmetics I'm buying, but I'm irritated that I didn't go get that Ajani avatar equipped. It kind of would, Surgeon, but I don't want to try to meet a combat trick with a combat trick. I kind of just want to assume they always have it and be okay with that. It's like a removal spell that's easier for me to play around. Like, they've pretty obviously got one here. And cool, you got me. Or they don't. Cool.
Happy college football Saturdays. Hope you're all doing well.
Thank you very much, Big Mac. Y'all spam some cats for Mac. I hope you and the family are doing well. You guys just had a big move, eh? I was more interested in watching the Valorant champs than college football, but you know, whatever your sport of choice is, I hope you enjoy it today and every day when they play. Where were y'all before? I don't think I remember. Were you in Texas or Oklahoma or something? Dude, that's not the frigid north. Come on. Oh, you moved from here to like Ohio or whatever. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's basically next door. We're pretty close to that. Okay. I thought you meant you moved up here and we're calling Virginia the frigid north. And I was like, no. What'd you get, Rage? Pretty close in American measurement. Like, I don't want to give out super close details, Zurgeon. We could get back Erg and he could start to do things. I think I'm okay with that. There's no reason to do it now, though. Nice. That's some good cardboard. Yeah, I think this is my best bet currently. Is Miasma good here? I can't really tell. Nice wallet. I would say for me, yeah, I'm kind of anything within an hour and a half is pretty close. But that was definitely in my neighborhood. I don't mind having my own combat trick. Yeah, I don't need all these lands. This is pretty close to killing them now. Like, I think I could have sacrificed these and done it if they're on straight nothing. They're not on straight... Well, I didn't think they were on straight nothing. Maybe c'est pas. But Sim Baby is mostly sleeping through the night. She'll go to bed or between 6 and 8 and then wake up about 3 a.m. for a bottle and then go back to sleep until 5:30 to 7. So we're sort of getting sleep. Not every night, not great sleep, but we're getting there. That would be my wishes to someone too, Zombob. That's a very good wish for somebody getting married. Congratulations again, Sigmas. I've had to mulligan a lot. I don't like it. But here we go. Oh! I have to mull to 5 on the play. That's pretty bad. But I can work with it. I'm going to send back Erg and Meteorite. Probably seems bizarre to keep... Actually, I'm going to send back this and keep the Meteorite. It probably seems bizarre to keep choking Miasma here. But this is something that could catch me up from a bad start, which this very clearly is. So we're going to have to hope that we draw some black sources and then our opponent plays stuff that dies to this. Because otherwise we're just dead. But so far they have. Well, downside, this is going to get buffed over time. Yeah, it might be a non-game. And that's the price of admission when you're going to play Magic, is there's going to be some non-games. Which is why I like best of 3, but there's the hand smoother for best of 1, but the hand smoother makes best of 1 a different format, but... But I've learned that ranting and being unhappy about the stuff I don't like is just not good for me. Lesnier's every set should have cycling. I agree. Obviously. That sort of thing used to make me mad. I just don't care anymore. So I'll share some thoughts I had because Daniela Diaz made a tweet. We're obviously not really playing Magic here, we're just dying. Okay, that's sort of something. I don't know how I'm dealing with this. Daniela Diaz made a tweet that's kind of been living rent-free in my head for a while. So I forget who it was that was initially making the statement, but it was a Magic streamer and somebody who was good and participated in competitive events. And they were kind of bemoaning that there's not really that many competitive events anymore. And Daniela responded to that tweet by saying, I'm paraphrasing here. You can go dig it up if you want the full context and everything. But the general gist of it is WotC used to be a company that made an awesome card game, and now they're a company that makes expensive cards that you can also play a game with. And I was like, whoa, dude. So I would get angry when people would say things like best of one is more skill testing. And like, it just doesn't matter anymore because who cares? Like, it's sort of like, I don't know, competitive hopscotch now. There's not really competitive limited anymore. So you should be doing what's fun. If it's not fun, stop doing it. I don't really see how we get out of this. I think we just call this one. Yeah, that's the actual quote that she posted. Yeah, I think if we can not have to mull to oblivion, we're not in terrible shape here. Generally, I would want Broken Wings against this deck. Because the best blue common's a flyer, but I probably want to see it before I actually bring it in. But that just got me to where, like, I don't need to take this game as seriously as I used to, especially when I just don't have the time to take it as seriously as I used to. Like, my stream and my videos used to be about, here's the best drafter you've never heard of, right? Like, I was very proud that Ben Stark called me that guy that seems to win a lot. And I still am proud of that. It's just to be able to do that in Magic, you need to play the current sets a lot. And I can't do that anymore. So I'm trying to be the guy that still uses, that can teach you the fundamentals of draft and have some fun in the current draft format. And maybe one day I'll decide I want to go deeper. And maybe one day I'll branch out and play other games. I don't know. As long as Magic's fun, I'll play it and stream it. And if it's not, we'll do something else. I think not having to mull solves most of our problems there, but let's see. Well, I don't think Magic's going to be in trouble for an awful long time, if ever. Like, there's clearly a ton of people that are enjoying the direction it's gone in, and that's fine. And to be fair, I'm kind of enjoying it too. Man, I'm keeping this hand that looks awesome and can't really play anything. What a world. Like, I've been playing a little bit of Explorer while some baby takes a nap on me. It's the old invasion symbol that they're using. I dig that. What I wonder about, the money says people enjoy it, but every single card game has had a massive spike in sales driven by collectors and speculators. And I'd be surprised if they've all figured out at the same time how to be great. Fair enough. This sucks, but I don't have anything else to do with my mana. They're probably going to lightning strike it here, but that's actually not too bad. Gives me something to do next turn. But Disney and Ravensburger are partnering to release a card game now, right? They could have Essence Scatter, but I can't. I'm not hitting enough land drops to play around that. I mean, they'll probably make the decisions that are most likely to make the money. really would like to get 2 things back with this repossession, but I may need to just fire it off. But games change over time. This one's still been fun for me. It's just like, why am I playing? It used to be because I wanted to be on the Pro Tour, and I really enjoyed that aspect of the game. Got like an impulse or something? No more essence scatters, please. That would just be gross. I mean, hell yeah, I'll try Disney's card game. Hammer Hand. Dude, welcome to the Wayback Machine. And welcome to never hitting double black. I mean, frankly, we're fortunate to have gotten to the end of the draft and not been that punished yet, because this mana base was not wonderful. I like this card a lot. I assume we're dead here, so I'm gonna have to play as if they have nothing. Huh. Still kind of in business. Hey, what's up, Emmett? Not really in business. That's a day late and a dollar short right there. Yep, that'll kill me. This is a cool little dag. The miasmas turned out to be not really great against them. So here I can chomp that and I guess get another turn. I just can't really do much with it. I guess I can take the 5. It's terrifying against a red deck, but can gain a little bit more life back here. Not enough though. That's why it's terrifying against a red deck, but it's not safe out there. Like, anywhere you're going is crazy. That wasn't bad considering how that one ended. I'm pretty happy with that as our first official draft. That was relatively fun. I think I'll at least play through our draft tokens, because we've got like 3 of those left, so we'll try some more. And a very big thank you to my patrons. Thank you, Punk, Joe, Jesse, Jacob, Scott, Basti, Rich, Brandon, Jazzy, Craig, and Geis. I appreciate y'all.